Hey everyone, this is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com doing a guitar lesson series for Jellynote. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to play Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison, and we're going to learn our first new chords on the guitar. Now, as we go through these new chords, I'm also going to show you some slight variations on those chords, so you can see some popular variations that are used in popular music. Now, the interactive tab for this lesson, you can have a link to it in the description of this video. Now that'll take you to Jellynote. Now Jellynote has thousands of interactive tabs and sheet music in sync with videos just like this one, so you can check them all out. Alright, so let's take a look at our new chords here. Now, as you can see me playing in the intro there, I have basically three different chord shapes. Now one of those chord shapes is actually a variation on the one I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to show you how to play a G major chord, a C major chord, and a D major chord. The C major chord in this song is a little bit different than the one I'm going to teach you, but I'm going to show you the way they play it in the song as well, and you know, it's a popular variation on that chord. So let's learn how to play the chords first. Now, if you look at your tab or your chord chart, you'll see here, we're going to start here with this G major chord. Now, when you listen to this, it might sound like I'm in a little bit different tuning than you are. Now, what I'm tuned to is the original tuning that the song was recorded in, which is E flat. Now, we've talked about tuning a little bit, but this is an extremely popular tuning used in rock music. So what it involves is tuning every string down 1/2 step. So we've learned the notes E, A, D, G, B, E. Now we're just going to change them to E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. So every string is lower down. So you can have the tuning app, you can use the tuning app at Jellynote to help you do that. And then all your chords will still work the same as if you were in standard, since you've lowered every string the exact same distance. But that'll help you get in the key of the actual song, so then you can play along with the song as it was recorded after you learn these chords. Alright, if you played it in standard, it will still play the same, but it won't sound the same. It won't sound great when you're playing along with the recording. So let's start here and learn our first chord. We'll look at this side of the chord chart first. So the right side of the chord chart, you'll see in the third space there, you'll see on the first string. Alright, so we have that note, play with your pinky. And then on the B string, third space as well. 3rd fret. Then the open G, let's work our way down, open D, 2nd fret there on the A string, I'm going to use my index finger for that, and then the 3rd fret on the low E string. Now that is a nice big full sounding chord. You'll see people play it like this as well, where they'll, instead of having 2 notes on the top 2 strings there, they'll just play the 3rd fret on the high E string and have that B string open. So you'll hear that a lot, but it's not as nice sounding as this. So you'll hear this one a lot more. There's the differences. They're both G major chords though. So we're going to learn it like this. And now we're going to go to a C major chord. So let's check out the C major chord. Starting on the top, the right side, of the chord chart, open E. 1st fret there with your index finger there on the B string. Then the open G string. Then the 2nd fret there on the D string. I'm going to use my middle finger for that. And then the 3rd fret there on the A string. I'm using my ring finger. See, you have to stretch across 3 frets. So it might be a little difficult to just make sure you arc your fingers so you're not muting the string underneath. Now this is just 5 strings, so you have to strum from the 5th string across. You don't want to get the low E string in there, so you can use your thumb just to lightly touch that string. You don't want to hold it down, you just want to lightly brush against it. Alright, so we have a G and a C. Now these are going to need to be practiced. They're your first chords, so they're going to be, very awkward to you in the beginning. So don't feel like you need to be able to play them with me as we're going. It's just for reference. You can look at the chord charts or watch this video as many times as you want. Alright, now we have a D major chord. This one's just 3 fingers and just going to be played on 4 strings. We're going to have the 2nd fret there on the high E, so you can see that. Just work our way down again to the B string. It's going to be the 3rd fret. And then the 2nd fret there on the G. Then the open D. So just 4 strings strum here. So we have G, C, and D. Now, let's learn the actual song itself. What we do here is we start with the G chord, but then we're going to move to this C chord. Instead of playing a regular C major, take these 2 fingers and just move them down 1 string each. So it's the same 2 bottom notes of that C major chord, but instead of having this on top, you're going to still hold that like you did that G major. Now what that does is it creates a chord called a C major add 9 chord, but don't worry about it. The name of it is not that important. It's just a variation of a C major chord. You can just think of that right now. But it makes the change to C a lot easier than jumping to that, because the shape pretty much stays the same. You move it over to C add 9, and then back to the G. Now we can move to the D chord from the G chord as well. Now you'll see here that if you can pick up all your fingers except your ring finger, because that note has these 2 chords both have that note in common. So you can use that as kind of like a guide finger. If you just let everything down and replace it, it's harder to find the chord, but you can leave that finger down when you go from G to D, and then back from D to G, you can leave it there since that finger doesn't have to move. So it helps you grab the chord easier. Alright, so when you practice this song, when you follow along the tab, I want you to practice it the way it's actually recorded, but it'll also be fun to practice it when you go to that C chord to the regular C major too, because it's very good practice, even though that's not how the song was actually played. We're going to play a variation of that C. Alright, so let's learn this, this song real quick. We're going to start here with the G. Now, the rhythm, the strumming pattern never stays consistent throughout the song. The only thing that would be consistent about it is that it is a 16th note pattern. That means for every beat, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a slow beat, and we have a down, up for every single one of those. So it's basically 4 strums for every beat. Now you're not going to hit each one of those strums, but that's what your arm's going to be doing. So if we just did that here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of just practice strumming every single one. 1, 2, 3, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So every beat is getting 4 strums. And how you create, you play the rhythm to this, you keep that same feel, 16th note or 4 beats of 4 strums for every beat, but you miss the string sometimes. So it'd be like this. So that's pretty much what's going on when you hear rhythm styles like the strumming style. They're keeping the same feel, 16th note or 4 strums per beat going on in the right hand. They keep that going consistent, and they just use their ear for when they want to hear it. And if you listen to Every Rose Has a Thorn, the pattern and what notes he hits, it never stays the same, but it all works because it's just in that 16th note feel. And some of them are hit loud, some are accented. So that's when you're practicing. You can just practice it with 1 chord. But just get used to the feel and don't worry about a set pattern every time. Just use your ear and just feel it. And that is what they're doing anyway. They're not assigning a certain pattern to it. So now you just work out the chords, the chord changes, which are very simple. The G to the C. Back to the G, and back to the C. Now I'm going to change them a little quicker. Each one got just 2 beats there. Then we finally make it to the D major chord. Now in this recording you'll hear him add like little notes, and we're not worried about that. We're trying to do this standard chord progression he's playing. So just on the D, same, then to the C, and then we're to the chorus. G, C, and G, C, G, to D, C, G, G, and ended on a C. So really what you want to do is you can just kind of hum the melody line in your head, and it's very easy to hear what chord is which. When it gets the bright sounding one, it's the D, and then kind of the mellow, soothing sounding one, and then the big full one is the G. So it's a really good exercise to play along. Just keep this rhythm going and see if you can find within it's just 3 chord types, and like just kind of find where you're at in the song, or then you could just follow the chord charts that we have here in the tab. And like I said before, it's a good exercise to just practice just with a standard C major. It's harder to play, and it's obviously not how they play it in the song, but it's a great exercise. All right, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can see the rest of the lessons in this lesson series, and I'll see you then with some more music.